In this video, we're going to begin the process of making the cabin for the train. Before we start, though, just want to mention a few things I did in the downtime. I made this little platform here, green object. Let me highlight it. There's one on both sides. It's just a little platform. It was a simple spline, some Boolean operations, and extrusion. You should have a handle on how to do that, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. I also copied these elements that we just created to the other side, so we have them on both sides. And lastly, I just, any new elements that we created, I just put them into layers. If they weren't organized properly, I organized them. And I added a new layer for the drivetrain, which is toggleable. You see that. And that's it. So there are a few things. They're not very difficult, especially after watching this video. I'm sure you can handle making, that little platform and organizing your file. And with that said, we're going to get over here to the cabin layer, and we're going to begin. So let's go left viewport, F4. Let's unhide those blueprints. There we go. And you can see the cabin right there a little bit. I'm going to hide this part of the boiler, F4, so you can see what I'm doing there. Hide selected. There it is. It's a pretty square structure, but from the front viewport, the front angle on the blueprint, you can see it has an arched roof. I think in the original I made this a little too small. So what I'm going to do, we're going to make it right now. And I'm going to do a little alteration from what's in the blueprint. So stick with me. It's not very hard. It's up to you. You can change it however you like. I'm just going to drag out a rectangle. F3 just so I could see what I'm doing there. I made it a little wider than I did on the blueprint. So that's fine. And now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to select arc from the splines rollout. And I'm going to snap it. So I'm going to come up here to snap toggle, click it on, right click it. It's set to vertex, which is what we want. So you can close that up. And I'm going to snap. So I'm going to click here with the left button. I'm going to drag across. It's going to snap. I let go, release of the left mouse button. And then I'm just going to eye it up, make sure it has the right arch. That looks good to me. Okay. I'm going to convert that to an editable spline. Editable spline is there. We're going to attach it to that rectangle. Attach right there. We're going to go to segment. Let's get rid of this one right here. Unclick attach. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go to vertex. We're going to fuse and weld these right here. Fuse, then weld. Same over here. Fuse, then weld. Okay, F3. Let's go to perspective and let's make sure that it's a sealed off spline network. We're going to use extrude from the modifier list. Extrude. You see it's working perfectly. Let's go down to the spline. We're going to up the interpolation. It's right here. Let's make that 12. And we're also going to add, let's go to the left viewport and zoom in. I noticed on the actual train there are these little windows. And I guess so the conductor can kind of see where he's going, would be a good idea. He can also hang out the side, which we'll get into later. So what I'm going to do, let's turn off that extrude. I'm going to come into the create panel. I'm going to go to shapes. I'm going to make a little window over here. So I'm going to use a rectangle. And roughly right around here, I'm going to drag out a thin little window kind of shape like that. I'm going to shift with the move tool and drag it to the other side. I'm going to do as a copy because I want to change the shape. They're not symmetric, it appears on the reference. I'm going to convert this to an editable spline. Grab some vertices right here. Turn snaps off using the S key, sorry. Let's grab the bottom two verts, pull them down. Let's take this one here and we'll just move it in a bit, just like that. And that's kind of like what I'm seeing in the reference. We're going to do refine. Refine, we're going to add a point right here. Simple, just click it in. And now we're going to get the move tool. I'm going to select that. I'm going to make it a corner. I'm going to move it out just like this. We're going to come down here and make this one a corner as well. You can see it distorted, and that's just telling you that something's not set the way you need it to be. So be observant as you work. There we go. Let's select this spline and come down here. Let's attach 1 and 2. Let's go to perspective. And let's turn back on extrude and make sure it looks correct. And it does. It's way too thick. Let's make it 1 inch. That looks good. Okay, and from here we're going to take this and we're going to move it sorry, not clone it. We're going to just move it. Rotate, E for rotate. Rotate 90 degrees. Make sure your angle snaps are on. W to move. Let's move it to the back of the boiler. You're going to have to unhide all again because we hit a section before. No. Okay. There we go. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to center it up almost on there. I'm going to drive it back this way a little bit, just like that. There we go. Should be a little ahead of there. It should be right there. Okay, you'll see that those windows, maybe they're not showing perfectly, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to just come in here. Maybe we'll scale it. Let's try scale first. Just nudge that out a little bit. That's not terribly bad. We're going to come in here. Let's grab the verts right here. Move tool. Just tick them out a little bit. See? That worked out perfect. I'm not so concerned that it's, scaled or anything. We can change that. We can fix this right here by grab these two. If we want a little more arc on the top, we can pull them up with the move tool just like that. Still editable. And there we go. So that's the front of the cabin. In an actual train, this boiler does come in here from what I've seen in reference. So let's call this cabin underscore front dash 01. Okay. And now what we're going to do is go to the left viewport. We're going to build some sides. So let's once again hide this section of the boiler. Hide selected. Okay. It's a little off from where the blueprint was. I'm not, again, it's not an exact science. We're not building this for a train museum. So what I'm going to do is go to rectangle, and I'm going to drag it out. We'll match the blueprint first, just like this. And there's a window opening here. We're going to drag that out just like that. Okay. F3 to see what we're doing. I'm going to grab these. I'm going to push them back just a touch so that they match where our front section is. And this is about aesthetics. This is about how it looks, and I didn't feel in the blueprint that these parts looked exactly the way I wanted, so I'm changing it. As long as it doesn't look like I went out of context or something from a different era, then we're in good shape. It's from the same point in time. Okay, so now let's convert the rectangle to a spline. Let's attach the window. Okay, untick attached. We're going to take this extrude modifier. Here's something I haven't done in these videos yet. We're going to just drag this extrude modifier right onto that spline. Takes the same value we had on the back wall and adds it to the side. Looks good. Let's grab a couple of verts right here. Show end result we can toggle on. Let's, with the move tool, pull them down. Just like that. That looks good. Let's drag this to the other side. As a copy, so I held shift, dragged it, we're making a copy. There we go. Make sure it's lined up properly, and it is. Let's once again unhide all, so we're going to come over here, unhide all. All right, and let's name these. We didn't name them, so I grab both by holding Control. We'll go to Tools, Rename Objects, Side Walls. Let's put cabin up front, so when we go to search on a list, we can find them easier. Numbered, rename, and we renamed them. So there we go. I'm going to pause the video. In the next video, we'll make a floor, a roof, and this little panel goes above the roof. So for now, we're going to stop, and we'll pick it up in the next video.